Hello and welcome to this exciting episode of Digital Pulse. You know when you sent over Journey of the Soul, a guide to astral projection? I have to admit I was intrigued. A guidebook to out-of-body experiences, astral planes, the works. It's like something out of a captivating sci-fi novel.
And it taps into a fascination that's been around for centuries, wouldn't you say? The concept of astral projection, it appears in cultures across the globe, weaving its way through history.
It really makes you wonder, where did this idea even come from?
It's hard to pinpoint an exact origin, but we find traces of it throughout various cultures and time periods. What's interesting is when we look at historical figures, like Emanuel Swedenborg, an 18th century scientist and theologian, he meticulously documented his out-of-body experiences, describing travels to different realms with incredible detail.
That's a fascinating juxtaposition. A respected scientist delving into such a seemingly mystical concept.
Precisely, and his meticulous documentation adds another layer of intrigue. For instance, Swedenborg's accounts often describe how he focused his thoughts to reach specific realms, echoing the emphasis on intention found in Journey of the Soul. It raises a question. If our thoughts can shape experiences in this alleged astral plane, what does that suggest about the connection between our minds and this other dimension?
It definitely makes you stop and think. But where does modern science stand on all of this? Are they setting up labs to track astral travelers?
Well, not quite. While the historical accounts are compelling the scientific community, they tend to approach astral projection with a healthy dose of skepticism. They often attribute these experiences to things like lucid dreaming or sleep paralysis. After all, there's no concrete, scientifically verifiable proof that astral projection, as described, exists.
So we have this intriguing clash between centuries-old beliefs and the lens of modern science. It seems many people throughout history have described similar experiences, but science is, understandably, looking for more tangible evidence. It kind of reminds me of how people used to think the Earth was flat. Common belief, but not exactly accurate.
Yes, it's a fantastic analogy, and just like with any unexplored territory, it's about keeping an open mind while also grounding ourselves in critical analysis. Perhaps the book's techniques for inducing astral projection could offer some clues. Would you like to explore that further?
Absolutely. Journey of the Soul seems to offer a very structured approach. It discusses everything from meditation and diet to creating a conducive environment for astral projection.
It seems to suggest that preparation is key, that it's not simply about falling asleep and hoping to have an out-of-body experience. What I find particularly intriguing is the emphasis on visualization techniques, like this rope technique it describes.
This is the one where you imagine climbing an astral rope to pull your consciousness from your body. Right. What's the reasoning behind such a specific visualization?
Exactly. And it's incredibly detailed. You're not just picturing any rope. You're feeling its texture, the way it hangs, the strain in your muscles as you pull yourself up. This focus on physical sensation, even if imagined, might relate to the brain's proprioception, our sense of body position. It's almost as if the technique is trying to trick the brain into perceiving movement outside the physical body.
That's a really interesting connection to a potential neurological explanation. It almost sounds like something out of a Christopher Nolan film, bending our perception of reality. So let's say we've diligently followed the instructions, mastered the rope technique, and feel our consciousness detaching. What happens then? Are we just floating around our living room, invisible to everyone else?
That's where things get even more interesting, according to Journey of the Soul. It introduces this concept of the astral plane, a separate dimension of existence that we can allegedly access through astral projection.
So not just stuck in my living room then. What's this astral plane like? Are we talking about some kind of, ethereal waiting room or something a little more dynamic?
The book describes it as anything but a waiting room. It suggests the astral plane is incredibly diverse, with different levels, each possessing its own unique qualities and inhabitants.
Levels of existence. Like ascending levels in a video game. Tell me more about this astral hierarchy.
That's a great analogy. The book describes the lower astral plane as a reflection of our collective unconscious, a realm of symbolic archetypes and primal emotions. It's where our fears and desires take on a life of their own. Imagine a dreamscape, but instead of being entirely personal, it's influenced by the collective psyche of humanity.
Okay, so maybe not the best place to start if you're prone to nightmares. What about these other higher levels? Is that where we find the peaceful gurus and insightful beings of light?
You're not far off. As you ascend to these higher astral planes, the book claims the energy becomes finer, less dense. It's in these higher realms where you might encounter those benevolent guides, beings of pure energy and wisdom who can offer guidance and teach you about the universe and yourself.
It's like they're running a cosmic university up there. But you mentioned inhabitants, and I have to ask, are we talking friendly guides and mentors, or something a little more, well, menacing?
Journey of the Soul doesn't shy away from the potential for negative encounters. It acknowledges that, just like in our physical world, not everyone or everything you encounter on the astral plane will have good intentions. There might be entities that feed off negativity or try to lead you astray.
Okay, that's slightly terrifying. Is there any way to, avoid those kinds of encounters, or are we just rolling the dice every time we attempt astral travel?
The book stresses the importance of intention, both in reaching specific levels and in attracting positive or negative encounters. Just as Swedenborg's accounts suggested that focused thought could lead him to different realms, Journey of the Soul emphasizes that your thoughts and emotions act as a beacon on the astral plane.
So if I'm embarking on astral exploration with fear and anxiety, I'm more likely to attract those shady characters lurking in the astral alleyways. Got it. But let's say we've mastered our intentions, honed our visualization techniques, and successfully navigated the astral plane. What's the point of it all? Is it just cosmic tourism, or is there a deeper purpose to astral projection, according to the book?
Journey of the Soul posits that astral projection isn't just about exploring other realms. It's about expanding our consciousness and accessing knowledge and insights that can profoundly impact our waking lives.
Expanding our consciousness, accessing hidden knowledge. It all sounds incredibly profound. But what does that actually look like in practice? Does the book provide any specific examples?
It does. Journey of the Soul. It suggests that through astral projection, you can tap into what it calls the Akashic Records, a universal library of knowledge containing information about everything, from past lives to future possibilities.
So like a cosmic internet where you can Google anything, even yourself. What are the potential benefits of accessing such a vast well of information?
The book suggests that the knowledge and insights gained on the astral plane, they can translate into tangible benefits in your waking life. Imagine overcoming a creative block by tapping into your past life experiences, or gaining clarity on a personal dilemma by accessing a broader perspective.
It's like the ultimate form of self-discovery and problem solving. But accessing these higher realms, tapping into this universal library, it almost sounds too good to be true. Are there any risks or downsides that Journey of the Soul warns about?
You're right to ask. While the book emphasizes the potential benefits, it also dedicates a significant portion to addressing the potential dangers of astral projection.
That's reassuring, at least. What kind of dangers are we talking about?
Remember those less than benevolent entities we discussed earlier? The book warns that encounters with them can be more than just unsettling. They might try to drain your energy, manipulate your thoughts, or even attempt to attach themselves to you.
Okay, that definitely throws some cold water on the idea of astral tourism. It sounds like we need to be as cautious in the astral realm as we are in the physical world.
Exactly. The book stresses the importance of preparation and protection. It encourages visualizing protective light, setting firm boundaries, and even calling upon your spirit guides for assistance if needed.
So it's about approaching astral travel with a healthy dose of caution, just like venturing into any unfamiliar territory. What about sleep paralysis? I've heard that's a potential risk associated with astral projection. Is that something the book addresses?
Yes, it does. The book acknowledges that sleep paralysis can occur, especially for those new to astral projection. It suggests that this might happen if your astral body and physical body aren't perfectly aligned upon return, leading to a feeling of being trapped between realms.
That sounds like a truly unsettling experience. Does the book offer any advice on how to avoid such a disconcerting situation?
It emphasizes the importance of grounding practices before and after astral travel, like focusing on your breath, connecting with your physical senses, and visualizing a safe return to your body. It also highlights the importance of not forcing the experience, allowing yourself to ease in and out of the astral plane naturally.
That makes sense. So we've covered the intriguing potential of expanding consciousness and accessing universal knowledge, but also the very real risks involved. It seems that Journey of the Soul approaches astral projection with a balanced perspective, acknowledging both the possibilities and the potential pitfalls. It begs the question, is this something anyone can do, or is it reserved for those with a specific predisposition?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And while the book offers a roadmap, so to speak, it also acknowledges that the experience is ultimately a personal one. It suggests that we all possess the potential for astral travel, but our individual journeys will be shaped by our intentions, our beliefs, and perhaps even factors beyond our current understanding.
It's like we've been on this incredible journey exploring the history, the techniques, the potential benefits, and risks associated with astral projection. It's certainly given us a lot to think about. As we wrap up our deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
Whether one chooses to believe in the possibility of astral projection or approaches it with a healthy dose of skepticism, I I think this exploration has highlighted something quite profound, the power of our minds. The book reminds us that our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions shape our reality in ways we may not fully comprehend, not just in the astral realm, but in our everyday lives.
It's a reminder that we have more agency and potential within us than we might realize. What a fascinating and thought-provoking deep dive this has been. To our listeners, we encourage you to explore the ideas presented in Journey of the Soul and draw your own conclusions. The journey of exploration, whether it's through the depths of a book or the potential realms of consciousness, is an incredibly personal and rewarding one.